Thank you so much for being here with us, Micki.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here to
Yeah.
share about people pleasing, and it so much fits in with the direction of your conference.
Yeah, absolutely. People pleasing is one of the main tendencies that people who have struggled with codependency have, myself included. And I'm glad that we have someone specifically talking about that because it is just so common. So what in your experience, Micki, is chronic people pleasing?
It's first off, I think that when we say codependency or chronic people pleasing, we think of, oh no, there's something wrong with me. And I think we need to look back at the intention behind chronic people pleasing, which is to be loved and accepted. And we all want that. It's part of our human nature. It's part of nature, right? And so that intention, or the knowledge of that intention, can help us to not be so hard on ourselves when we are looking at these behaviors that happen, and how to work with people pleasing. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind, that we bring compassion to ourselves and our thoughts and our bodies and all the things that are affected by this experience. And so people pleasing is, or chronic people pleasing, is when we are desperate for love. And I'll say something in a few minutes about how this develops. And I think we can all identify with this kind of, please love me. And when we have certain experiences in life, conditional love, like it depends on whether you do well or not as to whether you are loved or whether you're shown love. Only if you meet certain objectives. Not getting a say in what happens to you and what you do and what your upcoming experiences can be. And then also neglect and abuse. That's the worst thing. But I think we all have some roots of chronic people pleasing, and it depends on the depth and the amount of difficulty oftentimes in our childhood. Mm-hmm. And I will say that we all have some of this, because we all want to be loved and cherished, and because there's suffering in this world. We can never really receive absolutely unconditional love 100% of the time. So we all have some of this. And I think that's another thing that can help us to gain some perspective on this people pleasing that we really don't want to do anymore. Not that we don't want to please people, but when it comes out of the fear of being abused or abandoned or unloved for not following the path someone else wants you to follow, then it gets pretty painful. Lots of suffering.
Absolutely. Yeah. So keep going.
So it becomes, chronic people pleasing becomes this kind of compulsive pushing, trying to make someone love us. And it's a paradoxical thing. The harder we try to make someone love us, the more we are not in our own being, and we're looking out here. And so it's hard to act out of love, and what we're doing is acting out of fear. Mm-hmm. And that's so damaging. It closes us off from our own inner, what I call inner loveliness or inner beauty, in that we're looking out here so much that we don't even know what's in here. And we don't even know that we already have what we need. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's a paradox there.
Absolutely. So you've kind of touched on this a little bit, Micki, in the last couple of minutes, but where does this people pleasing stem from?
I think mostly from our childhoods. Certainly abuse and neglect and abandonment are key things that can bring this about. And I also think when there are demands placed on a child to be something other than what she is or he is, then it's like, I'm not okay the way I am. And so that conditional love is causes us all suffering, right? Yeah. And then when we don't get a say in what happens to us, it's like we become irrelevant. And feeling irrelevant, feeling unworthy, feeling, you know, abused and abandoned, those are all prime setups for chronic people pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how many of these tendencies stem back to our childhoods and you know, what kind of environments, you know, we were raised in. So like, how does this chronic people pleasing manifest in relationships today?
Okay. Well, chronic people pleasing has a set of thoughts, a set of emotions, a set of behaviors that come about. And some of the thoughts are, I'm not worthy. I'll do anything to make you love me, which in any relationship sets up this kind of imbalance. Please, 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 I'll do anything. And then the person just goes, okay. And then there's this imbalance in what one person does for the other, and the other person just kind of sits back and goes, okay, oh, thank you. Well, you know, and then they don't, after a while, they don't even notice it. And there's also kind of an unspoken contract between them that I'll do anything for you, and I'm expecting you to do something back for me. Mm-hmm. But the setup is the person doesn't have to do anything. So it goes on with this imbalance, and that contract then brings anger, probably on both people's parts. The person who's chronically trying to get pleased feels anger and resentment, and I have to do all of this, and look at you, you're doing nothing. But we both help set it up, right? Mm-hmm. And I think also on the other person's side, there's this kind of resentment as well, like, I can't ever pay you back, or it's a dishonesty in my mind. And so the person, both people become resentful and angry. And there's a lack of ability to talk about it. So it just keeps going on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to look at my notes right quick here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking of something you said, right? I could also imagine if you're the one who's always wanting the other person to please you, then you might be angry at yourself because you know there's an imbalance, right? Like, you know, deep down there's an imbalance, and it's probably not the healthiest thing for your relationship. So that, you know, brings back that anger kind of piece.
Yeah, lots and lots of anger, this unspoken contract, and both people feel then unsatisfied. Mm-hmm. And when there's not a way to talk about it, then it just explodes, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say around that particular question, or do you want to move on to mindfulness?
Well, with any relationship, when the people pleaser is feeling anxious, is feeling unworthy, maybe angry and resentful, and shut off from their own goodness, it makes the other person go like this.
AVAIYA has changed my life.
AVAIYA has made me the woman I am today.
AVAIYA is my home.
AVAIYA is personal freedom.
AVAIYA is the reason my life continuously improves.
Let everyone in your life know about AVAIYA.
Everyone needs to know about this amazing company.
Thank you, AVAIYA, for appearing in my inbox.
What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at AVAIYA is what the world needs.